Let's give it a rundown. So 50 minutes in, we're around 20 minutes from the first checkpoint, feeling good. So non-stop switchbacks the whole time, but you know, sticking together, we'll definitely be able to do it. It's annoying that there's no view, but we might get sky break hopefully as the sun comes up, and then we'll get the beautiful panorama ridge view. But ultimately it's just about being out here together. Everyone's kind of working on their own thing at a really high level, well over 100K a month each, and bringing that together and aligning the synergies and experiences and thoughts and realizations of aligning on the same goals is super powerful. So to be able to do the hike, to be able to have the food ready, the recovery, everything kind of handled on the back end so that we can have experiences like this is muy bueno. So yeah, just enjoying it, and yeah, super stoked. 3K in.
Do you remember any of those questions?
Sure. Here, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Best decision I made was just to have an electrolyte bottle.
So
Yeah. I can think of one actually right now.
okay, yeah.
What's a thing in your life, health-wise, that you thought that was benefiting you that actually wasn't?
Yeah.
I think at this level, it is the finite balance between getting lost in the sauce when it comes down to training. Like an Ironman or a marathon or biking 300K isn't gonna make you more money, nor is it gonna give you more output. That's just can be a black hole in terms of it not giving you any sort of output back to you if it's unapplied correctly. So initially, I did those things to build up my personal brand and my story and my identity. But more and more I'm realizing, especially after doing a sub 4-hour marathon, that those things don't matter as much in unison. So like marathon, bike, like all these crazy endeavors, that's not what matters.
Yeah.
What matters is being able to build up that social proof, build up that, hey, did cool shit, and transfer that to a vehicle so other people can do whatever goals they have and do cool shit easier in their own way. So that took a while to really break apart and realize, like right now after coming off the marathon, I'm just biking. I don't have like a crazy goal. I guess kind of might sound stupid, but the crazy goal is biking to Whistler and back in under 8 hours from Vancouver. So nothing like, it's not like out of the park, brand new for me, but that's not something as nuts as doing an Ironman or doing a sub 4-hour marathon, and that's fine. Like I used to beat myself up a lot. I didn't realize just how intricate all that was, but depends on your focus, and it depends on what angle and what vehicle needs the most work in the moment.
Yo, if there was one area of your life that you had to improve, like as a beginner, wanting to get into a health journey and just be more optimal, what's the one thing that someone should focus on in their story?
You have to, I think, the biggest thing is spend a lot of time on discovery. Find out what works for you. Find out what your minimum viable input is and what your weekly input allowance is, because here's the real deal. You can want to get into Ironman. You can want to get into bodybuilding. You can want to get into the gym, but your survival and you aligning with your values and your emotional intelligence and your output and building something cool or whatever your goal is has to support, and it has to have balance and synergy with how much time you have to give. So a lot of people will step into weight training just to get healthy, but they won't really spend that time really dissecting, understanding the discovery phase of how much time can I consistently spend doing this? What areas of my body need work? Should I do blood work? Should I do a scan? You need to identify and just really consolidate the discovery and clearly outline the goal and objective. And the reason why I say that is I jumped into natural bodybuilding and Ironman at the same time And sure, I got them both done and I achieved good goals, but if I had spent more time on the discovery, then I think I would have found even more success with stepping into crazy accolades right away. So definitely is about doing the data gathering first instead of just jumping into things and rushing, because that's where the cycles start. Someone will want to bodybuild or start the gym, and because they haven't done that discovery, they haven't built up the non-negotiables for consistency with the dedicated input they can allocate, they'll just fail. So that's the biggest thing for me. And I'd say there's two groups of people. There's the people that are like myself, Nathan, Martin. Athletes fall under this. Bodybuilders, powerlifters fall under this, which is goal-oriented health. It's, I see something, I want to do it. That's what's going to keep me on track with my body and myself. Beautiful. The other group of people is more of the, hey, I think health's important, but right now with where I'm at, my goal is not to be a professional athlete, but it's to be limber, conscious of my body, healthy, be flexible, be strong, be able to do anything with my body and for it to support itself. So realize and just identify what those two groups are and what they mean. And that's really the magic wand for how to find success quickly in the discovery phase. Just rise because they're not face to face with their thoughts and their EI.
Yeah.
So the IQ definitely needs to be there to some level.
I also heard the more tests you have, the more self-disciplined you are. So you're more likely to like consistently make good choices.
Oh yeah. Basically. But you're also bound by high tests in a way where you're like sometimes that's difficult. Like you have to like be poised.
Yeah.
You have to be conscious about, you know, your reactions and your words and your.
That's true.
Yeah. Would you not say that the more tests you have, the more you want to fuck? And that can be
of course.
some advice.
Of course.
But apparently, like, there's so much studies on test and like self-control and just like controlling your emotions and like better than if you were low test.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like the EI now is so prevalent at that last 10% once you get the base of like the black and white stuff. And then that's the new challenge. And there's always a new fucking challenge.
Yeah.
Just like how you found out. Like when we first started working together was, you know, getting lean. And then it was like you said yesterday, it's not just the visual, it's all these other fucking things. Now it's like, and that's the cycle of growth that is super empowering. Yeah. That's really where the exponential curve starts to take off. So we just have to make it easier to encode what all this shit is and put it to work.
People with higher EI can handle more stress.
Of course.
There was a study done by Harvard like 4 years ago, and they were like going on about how stress equals more success. And then they're like, well, how do people deal with more stress?
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's the whole values alignment, right? Like somebody could be, we've seen it, billions of dollars or millions of dollars in debt, and be perfectly values aligned and just know it's a stage in their life to some point. They're really stressed and then they get a big break. Like it is really about being face to face with that and knowing what those things are.
Yeah, sure.
But that's the difficult thing is like, some people don't even know what their top 3 values are or identifying that is.
What are the 3 pillars that you want to lead your life with?
So I actually, me and Martin have a mentor. His name's David Allison. He works for Amazon, Google. He just spent like 5 hours with Roger Federer last week at the Amazon function in France, in Nice. Mm-hmm. And what he's done is essentially he said, hey guys, the world sucks because demographics fuck everyone's heads up. You know, if you take 5 moms with a bachelor's in marketing with 3 kids that live in Idaho and you put them in a room together, they have nothing in common.
Yeah.
It's just demographics. So what David did is he conducted a survey with like 52 questions and he orchestrated all 54 values in existence with words that relate to each one. And he gets people to take that survey and it spits out your top 10 values. So mine are morality, compassion, respect, community. There's a couple more along those lines. And once you know what those things are for you, like Martin's, number 1 is family. Once you know what those things are for you and you curate your EQ and your decisions along that, that's really where bliss happens. So
same with like human design engineering.
Of course, it's the exact same. It's just like, what is the data set for my emotions?
I went down a big rabbit hole with human design engineering, and it was because I met the Gymshark's like sister or cousin, like the owner, in Bali, and that's her thing. That's all she coaches on.
Yeah.
So I went up to her, introduced myself, and I was like, well, what is human design? Because this is like so foreign to me. And she was like, a lot of business owners don't realize what values and what sort of like inner shit that they align with, like call centers. She was talking about like a lot of like terminology that I didn't understand. But what I got from it was a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, and even just people are focusing on being like everyone else, which might not necessarily
you got to be the most extreme version of you.
Yeah, because
always.
then you're always aligning with your centers. So your human design engineering works for you.
Yes.
That's why some people will never get over a certain hurdle.
Yes.
Because that hurdle isn't for them.
Exactly. 1,000,000,000%. That's very well said. And essentially, values give you the blueprint for knowing I value morality more than belonging.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about being part of a tribe or a group more than I care about, not stealing the lady's purse. That's so me. Like I always want to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I always want to help out, give the most. And
I put them in the best.
to some aspect, like there's overlap and there's hold-ons and there's like pie charts overlapping with everyone here.
Yeah.
And why we relate, because all of our values to some extent have that sort of relation piece. And then once you bring that perspective together and you cultivate that, that's really where you get like that high from the whole tribal aspect, right?
Because I think this is like a sort of, let's say, dilemma that only we've experienced in the last 100 years.
Yeah.
I think before that, all these entrepreneurs, high IQ people, they saw evergreen, blue ocean. So for them, they didn't need to know all these little things because
the intricacies didn't matter back then. Yeah.
It's like it was just black and white for them.
Yeah.
Well, when Model T came out, Henry Ford, there was no one else like Henry Ford at the time.
Yeah.
Same with like Edison and all these inventors. So now it's like in this very AI focus where you can execute extremely highly. Now you need to figure out what is your center good at, which is what we've got better at the modern age.
Yeah. Different balls to juggle.
Exactly.
Yeah, like different game to play. Same, different rule, different chessboard.
Like, for example, I could follow what Nathan's doing, and it'll probably get me so far. But then I have to realize my path will still be different.
Yeah.
And that's
What's
what a lot
yours?
of online people forget.
Yeah.
It's like you can't follow one-to-one coaching as closely as you want it to be.
Of course. That's what we actually stop working with people that are not like for the performance offer. If they don't have a goal, we won't even work with them.
Yeah.
We'll just be like, use the wealth product. Like, God bless you. Like, please, I'll save you a ton of time. But on the other side of the piece is what you just said. What I'm emulating is you need that self journey and you need that self guidance identified. Otherwise, there's no sus, there's nothing there. It's just, and then the emotions come into play, and then you resort on like
It's
blame
insane.
and whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, not a lot of people have that. So, it is very, very important. Identity is very, especially like when you're carving out a brand or a personal brand or a product, whatever. That is the driving, determining factor that really emulates what it feels like. It's different for every person, but that needs to be in somebody's control. Because it's all like, we're all just micro creators. So pretty much all it is, like we're all making something.
Yeah.
Thick.
The talking's making me breathed out.
Yeah, it's cool because once you work the brain and then the body's already working it, gets so much easier.
They coexist. They
Yeah.
work together.